Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, and Capricorn Rising. A person who doesn't know how to balance out their energy, which we consider to be from your root to your crown, is not an emotionally stable person. They're also not an energetically stable person. And trying to have any kind of partnership with somebody whose energy is not stable is going to be difficult, despite your heart's desire, in spite of your best efforts, in spite of all of your hopes and dreams and wishes that things might be different. About Capricorn's restlessness and how it's shown up this week with the full moon, because we're being exposed aspects of our personality we need to handle. If you have it at the rising, it's going to be your ego. If you have it at the moon, it's going to be your emotional well-being. If you have it at the sun, my God, that ego needs to be in check. And if you've been doing the work, it's not going to feel brutal. But if you haven't, it's going to feel like you're being punched in the face. The point is, we're not here to finish the work. It's not about perfection. It's about evolution. Evolution is about growth. It's about progress, movement, forward, pushing the envelope forward. That's literally why all of us got sent to Earth, was to make Earth better. We literally agreed to come, but many of us, we just refuse to move, listen, follow direction. That's why we're on Earth, and it doesn't end. We could be doing great for a while, and then we slide back to our old ways because we're comfortable over there. Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, and Capricorn Rising. What will the Capricorn Moon bring? An ego death, depending on how you've been living, whether you've been living entirely from your ego with no concerns given to how your behaviors are affecting other people. That whole thing is going to crash down in the most violent way imaginable, because what's happening with this transit as well is that we're having a marriage, if you will, of the planet Mars, which is a ruler of Aries, a planet of war, hot planet, fast moving planet, with Uranus, which is a planet of Aquarius. That's the planet of progression. It's futuristic. It's all about evolution and being different, functioning outside of the norms and being comfortable there. So when you put this energy with this angry energy of Aries, who's also very impatient and restless and wanting to get things done, you're going to get some of the most rebellious energy imagined. And if my memory serves me well, I think that transit is also happening at the 29th degree, which is a Leo degree. For many Capricorns who are not self-aware, they live strictly from their root chakra. The root chakra is where we all start. We're supposed to progress as people from our root all the way to our crown. Most of the weight on the human body is going to be from our bottom to our crown. So the show of maturity, right, is being able to balance out that weight. Standing on our feet will require that we find our center to balance out that weight. We can't change adults if they don't want to be changed. If there's anything being a therapist has taught me, that's what it's taught me. You can't change somebody. They have to want it for themselves. You could want it for them. You could have a plan for them. You could have a vision for them. You can big them up and encourage them every day. You could hold their hand and pray about it and cry about it and sweat about it and dream about it. And you could really be in that moment, and it could really be real, where you just make each other these promises. But if that person is not really ready to keep making decisions with the realization that they made you that promise in that moment, there's nothing you can do about it. Because in that moment of choice, they had to decide what they want to do, in spite of the 1,000,001 conversations you may have had about it outside of that circle. Any Capricorn who has been running their lives from a place of ego and a place of what's best for me and only me, and selfishness and stepping over other people's feelings, in an effort to feel powerful and to feel in control and to feel like we're in charge and dominating. So any Capricorn that has been indulging in this feeling of wanting to dominate and overpower others, they're going to have some struggles over the next 6 months, because Saturn is retrograde. So that means old issues are going to be resolved. They're coming to an end whether we like it or not. whatever that resolution is going to be, it's going to be what it is in the next 6 months. Whether we like it or not, it's happening. That's what Saturn retrograde means. It means past issues where karma needs to be dealt out. You get a second chance to find the resolution, and depending on your performance, you decide whether you move up in your energy level, your vibration, or whether you move down or stay the same. But it's all up to you. It's all up to you because you're in charge of this vehicle, this life that you're living, you've created. This is your manifestation. This is what you told the universe you wanted. These are the things you agreed to. These are the things you thought about. This is where you spent your energy. Where you are right now, that's where you spent most of your energy. So if you don't like the things that your energy is creating, it is upon you to make some new decisions, make some new magic, create some new realities. That's what we call manifestation. It's just making that decision. At the end of the day, it all comes down to decisions. Life is a choice. Everything in life is a choice. You're not the only person that's ever gone through bullshit. And that's what I love about my presentation, because people project so much on me that isn't real. The thing about Capricorn is they are ruled by the planet of karma. So that's why they're very serious. Saturn is one of the slowest moving planets in all of our solar system. Saturn is Saturday, because Saturday is when you get to rest, right? That's when the weekend starts. That's when we're hanging out. So you can see how hard Saturn makes you work. You work from Monday all the way to Friday to get a paycheck. We don't get passes. We just make it look good. I don't know how else to tell you that. But that's it. We just make it look good. We just bounce back. We just don't give up. Miranda said, but do we really rest? My answer is no. Do you? I want to hear from the Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Rising, since the Capricorn Moon is coming. You're not alone. We're getting a chance to really revisit some of these important things. How else does life on Earth continue if men and women cannot get along? So if you're a Capricorn who hasn't found a way to use their inner child to release some of that pain, then inevitably that pain from that inner child is going to turn into anger. Because anger is just sadness that has been repressed. Anger is a secondary emotion. For many of us, we've taken on anger as if it was the actual issue, and a lot of times anger is just there to mask the deep feelings of sadness, and just that moment of reckoning with the depth of the sadness, or the depth of the pitiful hole that we're in. Capricorn Moon, yeah, same. I don't know why, but it's taken me this long to realize it wasn't my responsibility to help other adults adult. I, by default, feel very responsible. By default, I feel like I want to do the right thing. I feel like that's my baseline. So for me, this idea of doing things that I don't necessarily find pleasurable is not something that bothers me. In fact, it comes naturally. That's just part of being a Capricorn. But sometimes Capricorn will use that as a way to escape what they're feeling, even though they do feel as deeply as Cancer, because remember, they're sisters. Cancer's mom and Capricorn is dad. Sister signs in astrology is what we consider them. They're both very, very sensitive, but Capricorn isn't allowed to express it, or has decided to not express it, or is just tired, so they don't bother. And Cancer is still much younger and still much more hopeful, so they don't mind risking it by exposing it every chance they get, because they're more trusting that exposing it will bring help. And what Capricorn has learned that is that oftentimes that exposure brings nothing of value, so they hide. Now, those of you that are Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Rising, what do you think about what I described? I want to hear from you. You can book your astrology reading at intuitivehealing.com. You can also watch videos at Intuitive Healing here on YouTube for Astrology 101 content. Listen to the Aquarius podcast on Spotify, as well as here on YouTube for your horoscope. If you're interested in astrology and love connections, you can visit at Styled Under Libra. And of course, for health and wellness and holistic healing, visit at Styled Under Virgo for all of your astrology content. Thanks so much for watching.